Hey everyone, it's going. Welcome back to the channel. What a great day. Today we're back inside the studio and I want to break down my time driving the Mustang GTD compared to the Corvette ZR1. A lot of people have been talking about this segment right now, and when you consider the best Mustang ever, the best Corvette ever, even when you go to other brands like Porsche and more, the battle just gets so good. But I'll save that for another one. I want to keep it very concise right now. I'll be honest, when these cars were first coming out, I thought the GTD was going to be a lot faster than the Corvette ZR1. But for my time driving the Corvette ZR1, well, it's completely changed my perspective on a lot of things, especially when it comes to a price point, because Chevy has proved that you can make a car a lot faster for having less money than you would expect. Specifically in the mindset of like a 1,000 horsepower car that is as fast as SF90s and those things accelerating, and it's not as much money as them. It's like, what? That is the crazy part to me. But it's a Corvette, right? It's not one of those complete carbon fiber hand-built Italian supercars. So there's always a limiting factor with everything. Now in this video, I did want to go over my time driving both cars. I drove the Mustang GTD in Michigan. I drove the Corvette ZR1 out here in California. So my first drive review is going to be based on the street driving perspective. And this is where it gets intriguing in my opinion, because both cars, driving them on the streets, you wouldn't even be able to tell how crazy they are. By the way, if you're getting a Mustang GTD or a Corvette ZR1, or you've picked up any new car recently, I highly recommend you guys reach out to Speed Phenom Film if you want to make sure the paint is protected. If you want to prevent rock chips and other damage on your paint so it keeps that factory finish, call Speed Phenom Film at 760-496-8607. Here in the studio, we install state-of-the-art paint protection film on vehicles, ceramic coating, and more, to shield them on the streets for rallies, daily driving, even going to the track. So if you want to get rid of that risk or worry of getting a rock chip you can't stop looking at, give us a call at 760-496-8607. You wouldn't even be able to tell how crazy they are. They feel so tame. They feel so comfortable, which is weird to me. The 2016 Shelby GT350R, which I'll pull up a shot of that car right now, feels more edgy on the streets to me than GTD driving it. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably going, no way, dude, because the GTD looks crazy. It's bigger. It's got an active rear wing. It's loud. Hold your thoughts. This car to me was crazier simply because when you're behind the wheel, it was just more bumpy. It was more rough. You got tram lining. You had no resonator, so it's like a really high-pitched loudness that you're hearing inside the cabin. And it's also approximately, if it's 3,600 pounds, GTD is 44 to 43, 80 or 70, something like that. This car was hundreds of pounds less, right? Almost 800 pounds less. So to me, driving GT350R felt more edgy on the streets than GTD, because the GTD was so comfortable, so easy to drive, that I didn't feel like it was much work. When I go to a front incline for a driveway, there was no need to go sideways, right? To get the whole car to smoothly not bottom out. Just hit a button and it'll raise the front end. It's got the same luxurious comfort seats out of the GT500. Smoother suspension to me. And then new tech, interior, all that good stuff. Here's the next fun part. Do you know what was edgier than driving the Corvette ZR1? Well, let me show you. The Corvette Z06. The Z06 feels edgier to drive on the street. Okay? Let me preface by that. On the street. Because, yeah, it doesn't have 1,000 horsepower. But when you're on the street, it's just got more of the a tone or the appeal as the GT350R, where it's just so much louder. The trend here I'm trying to say to you guys is this. Both these cars are tuned to be extremely comfortable, where if you want to daily drive them, you could. They have more in line with cars like a Porsche Turbo S in terms of how comfortable they are while driving than other cars out there, which is strange. Because if you get a GT3 RS, it's reminding you the whole time you're in a race car. I thought my 750S was like extremely comfortable and smooth, and it is. These cars are just like that, but even more so because they have more technology with like the amenities. You're probably laughing by now. Yes, the ZR1 is way faster than the Z06. I think I still want to get one, and you guys should get one too. So don't get me wrong, it's a way faster car on track. We're briefly talking about street driving. When I got in the ZR1, I was shocked I was in a ZR1 because that's how comfortable that they made that car. When I got in the GTD, I was shocked that was a GTD because how comfortable they made that car. It didn't make sense to me because in the older days, you could get a GT350 Mustang with no air conditioning. No air conditioning. Look, there was a GT350R with AC delete as a factory option. Right there. That's what it looked like. The center of your car had a plastic cover. Can you believe that? That was a thing back in the day. And nowadays, you want to get a GTD, the craziest Nürburgring Mustang with no AC? Oh, you can't. Do you want to do the same with the ZR1? No, you can't. You have to get all the upgraded 13-way adjustable seats with climate control, right? So that's my point here. These cars are getting so comfortable, so technologically advanced that, yeah, they're giving you race car performance and speed, but they're doing it in a way that they're not compromising anything, which is weird to me. And then you consider GT3 RS, and this car feels like total race car behind the wheel on the street at all times. So it's a really just crazy analogy here, where if you want that vibe, this car kind of gives you more of it. If you want a vibe of a car you want to drive every day, if I had a GT3 RS, I'd drive it the same as my McLaren. Not much. I drive the McLaren, but I don't daily drive it, okay? I don't, because it's too much of a race car, right? And it's more stiff. I'm too worried about it. GTD and ZR1, though, you can drive every single day. But the funny part is, who's going to drive a GTD every single day? It's custom made. It's got carbon fiber everywhere. If someone hits it, you're totally doomed. But in my opinion, guys, on the street, these two cars are just like each other. They're super comfortable. But the feeling of more specialness I got out of the bespoke engineering out of the GTD, because you can hit a button, you can see the suspension compress. It feels more custom. It feels like a special car. So to me, the GTD felt more special. But when you punch the gas on the ZR1, I mean, big difference here, okay? The torque, when it kicks on, it accelerates a lot faster, and having that weight shifted more up back, the amenities of the weight balance of the GTD and how much it means to the team, well, the ZR1 already has that. It already has a transaxle and the superior architecture of a mid-engine platform. So all the upgrades you're getting out of that transaxle, shifting weight more out back to be an improvement for power delivery in the GTD, well, the ZR1 already has that. So architecture is already there, and it's winning with the ZR1. But the way they turned a front-engine car to a front-engine transaxle car, and the DRS and engineering of the GTD just makes it feel more of like a crazy piece. But the ZR1, there's so much there. I want to know your guys' thoughts. For daily driving, the point of this video is like, you can daily drive both, and you wouldn't even know you had 1,000 horsepower on the street driving it. And you wouldn't know you had the craziest suspension ever in a Mustang driving the GTD on the street. So right away, both cars you could actually daily drive. That is my report. But there's like no storage space in GTD, and there's less storage space in a standard Corvette and the ZR1. So maybe the winner here goes to ZR1 for daily driving. But the car that feels like more of a sense of occasion on the street, love, like, this is insane, is GTD, in my opinion. But if you want more acceleration, for sure, get the ZR1. I hope you guys enjoyed that quick discussion about what it's like to daily drive both cars. You can definitely do it, because that's how my test was limited when I first drove both cars. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really does help me out. And subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. While you're that, hit the notification bell for much more great content. Let me know your thoughts down below. Would you daily drive either one? Why did they make them so comfortable? Let me know. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one.